first step in producing milk is for the cows to eat feed. Then it is digested in the stomach and exits as normal, but when it enters the small intestine, the nutrients are absorbed and carried into the udder by the bloodstream. There it is made into milk. On average, a cow produces 6 to 7 gallons a day. When the growth hormone rbst is injected into their system, they will produce about a gallon more. It may not seem like a lot, but when there's millions of cows producing milk, it adds up. Going to the store and picking out a carton of milk, whether it's treated with hormones or not, may seem like an average everyday thing, but it's becoming a growing problem.
There are two sides of the story. The good side, which is that making cows produce more milk makes it cheaper and also allows farmers to cut back on supply since there are less cows. And the bad side is cows experience harmful side effects, and scientists debate on how bad of an effect it has on humans. But before I get too into it, let's see what some of our classmates have to say about it.
Wait, what? What's the question?
Do you think cows should be treated with growth hormones to make them produce more milk?
Sure.
Why?
I like milk. No.
No, because
Well,
we like our
personally,
milk.
we like natural milk. And like
It's
with
fresh.
growth hormones, it might like alter the flavoring of the milk,
It might alter the coloration, actually, so it's discolored,
or it might
or it
not.
might be disgusting.
It doesn't matter if it's used growth hormone because growth hormone is just making it produce more milk, so it's still all their own milk and it's all natural still.
Yes,
Why?
because then we get tastier milk and cheese.
Cows shouldn't be treated with growth hormones because it's inhumane and bad for them and bad for us.
So although there were some mixed answers, here's why cows shouldn't be treated with rbst. rbst is made by injecting bovine somatotropin into an E. coli bacteria and is sold to farmers as Posilac by the company Monsanto. So it is still an unnatural and man-made product. And also, instead of it coming from the pituitary gland, it is injected into the muscles. Many consumers find this abnormal and makes them reluctant to buy the milk. And because cows are producing so much milk, the calcium needed for it is taken from the bones and makes the cows weaker. There are many other side effects as well, such as bloating, disease of knees and feet, cystic ovaries, and smaller calves. There are also many more, but the most commonly known is an udder infection called mastitis. Since mastitis must be treated with antibiotics, those antibiotics show up in the milk, and if not treated, the cow produces foul-looking milk. People also take in the hormones that show up in the milk, which causes their insulin factor to raise. This has been said to cause cancer. The extra hormones have also been said to cause earlier puberty in kids. But rbst has never been proven to cause cancer or early puberty, and this issue is still debated by scientists. Plus, the FDA deemed these hormones safe for humans in 1993 after years of research. On top of that, the gene-spliced and natural versions of the hormone are identical. And because there is increased milk production, milk is a lot cheaper, as well as many other milk products such as yogurt, cream, cheese, and other cheese products, cake, chocolate, ice cream, certain candies, and many others. An article from the New York Times called "Don't Cry Over rbst Milk" stated that bad faith efforts by biotechnology opponents to portray rbst as untested or harmful and to discourage its use keep society from taking full advantage of a safe and useful product. The opponents' limited success is keeping the price of milk unnecessarily high. And what most articles don't tell you is that, because there are less cows needed, we are able to cut back on supplies. For example, for every 1 million cow treated with rbst, 6.6 billion gallons of water are conserved, animal feed is reduced by 3 billion pounds, land used for grazing is reduced by 417 square miles, and best of all, manure production is decreased by 3.6 million tons. As always, there are many conflicts between the two sides. One is that although the smaller companies are finding it harder and harder to compete with the larger companies, people working for the larger companies would lose their jobs if milk wasn't being produced. The other, and probably the biggest one, is that although the hormones may reduce the quality of life for a cow, they greatly improve the cost of milk, and it's very economizing.
But there is always room for compromise. For example, since milk prices are rising, milk that has been treated with growth hormones should be selling for a lot less than it already is, so that if consumers choose to buy milk not treated with growth hormones, which is a growing trend, the smaller farms will have a chance to rebuild themselves. This will also allow the larger farms to still make a good profit off of consumers that are looking for cheaper milk. Another way is to limit the amount of cows that are treated with hormones. This also helps the smaller companies by not having to compete as hard. I think that it's okay to use rbst in cows because since the industry is so big, if they were to suddenly stop using it, it would come crashing down. Some people may consider it animal cruelty, but they may not realize that when cows die, their bodies are used for meat, so no matter what, the cow never goes to waste. But the other thing is that, as mentioned earlier, the public has been convinced that hormone-free milk is the way to go, and many restaurants and supermarkets have stopped selling milk and milk products containing them. But I still think that there's nothing wrong with them, since it's a lot more convenient for consumers who are more budget aware and don't care about the extra hormones.